SOS, Structural Oral Situational Approach. What is the primary focus of the structural oral situational approach? Option A, reading comprehension. Option B, writing skills. Option C, oral communication. Option D, vocabulary building. Option C, oral communication. Which of the following is a characteristic of the structural oral situational approach? Option A, emphasis on grammar rules. Option B, focus on isolated vocabulary. Option C, use of real life situations. Option D, avoidance of pronunciation practice. Option C, use of real life situations. In the structural oral situational approach, language structures are taught through Option A, drills and exercises. Option B, authentic materials. Option C, oral situations and dialogues. Option D, written tests. Option C, oral situations and dialogues. What is the role of the teacher in the structural oral situational approach? Option A, to provide explicit grammar instruction. Option B, to facilitate oral communication. Option C, to focus on error correction. Option D, to provide written feedback. Option B, to facilitate oral communication. Which of the following activities is suitable for the structural oral situational approach? Option A, fill in the blank exercises. Option B, role plays. Option C, reading aloud. Option D, writing essays. Option B, role plays. The structural oral situational approach is particularly useful for Option A, beginner level students. Option B, advanced level students. Option C, students with learning difficulties. Option D, students who need to improve their fluency. Option D, students who need to improve their fluency. How does the structural oral situational approach promote language learning? Option A, by emphasizing grammar rules. Option B, by encouraging oral communication. Option C, by providing written feedback. Option D, by focusing on vocabulary building. Option B, by encouraging oral communication. What is the primary advantage of the structural oral situational approach? Option A, improved reading comprehension. Option B, enhanced writing skills. Option C, increased fluency. Option D, better retention of vocabulary. Option C, increased fluency. Which of the following is a key principle of the structural oral situational approach? Option A, focus on grammar rules. Option B, emphasis on vocabulary memorization. Option C, situation-based language learning. Option D, teacher-centered instruction. Option C, situation-based language learning. Who developed the structural oral situational approach? Option A, Jeremy Hammer. Option B, H.G. Vidal-Son. Option C, Michael Lewis. Option D, Harold Palmer. Option D, Harold Palmer. What is the primary goal of the structural oral situational approach? Option A, reading comprehension. Option B, writing fluency. Option C, oral communication. Option D, grammar accuracy. Option C, oral communication. Which of the following is a characteristic of the structural oral situational approach? Option A, language is taught in isolation. Option B, language is taught in context. Option C, focus on translation. Option D, emphasis on literary analysis. Option B, language is taught in context. How does the structural oral situational approach view language learning? Option A, as a process of memorization. Option B, as a process of imitation. Option C, as a process of communication. Option D, as a process of translation. Option C, as a process of communication. What role does the teacher play in the structural oral situational approach? Option A, primary information source. Option B, facilitator of learning. Option C, language model. Option D, all of the above. Option D, all of the above. Which of the following is an example of a situational activity in the structural oral situational approach? Option A, completing a grammar exercise. Option B, engaging in a role play conversation. Option C, reading a literary text. Option D, writing a composition. Option B, engaging in a role play conversation. How does the structural oral situational approach assess language learning? Option A, through written tests. Option B, through oral communication tasks. Option C, through grammar quizzes. Option D, through vocabulary test. Option B, through oral communication task. The structural oral situational approach developed by Harold Palmer emphasizes learning language in context, focusing on oral communication and situational activities that mimic real life scenarios. The teacher plays a multifaceted role and assessment focuses on oral communication tasks. The silent approach is useful for matured learners. A strategy in SOS teaching method is sensory-based lessons and group work. Key principle of SOS method: emphasis on sensory integration and social skills development. The benefit of using the SOS teaching method is improved academic achievement, enhanced sensory processing and social skills, and increased student engagement. How would a teacher apply the SOS method to support a student with social skill difficulties? Answer: by encouraging group work and collaboration. What is the primary way that a teacher would assess student progress when using the SOS method? Standardized test, observation and anecdotal notes, student self-assessment and reflection.